Hi, good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. I was waiting for my countdown, but I guess I don't get one today. We don't need it. Welcome to another awesome edition of Missy Lane's Read Along. This morning, we are reading Amazing Grace. Yes. Now, I know it's an all time favorite of many of yours, but today we're going to read it. We're going to share it with all of our friends. It is written by Mary Hoffman and illustrated by Caroline Binch. Yes. We want to welcome all of you to the show today. If you are visiting for the very first time, go ahead and tell me in the chat where you are visiting from, and so that we can say hello to you. And for those of you who are returning week after week, a special hello to you and thank you so much for joining us one more Saturday. Yes, I am just especially enthralled with this little girl, Amazing Grace, because she does not take no for an answer. She has two special ladies in her life who just let her know that, Miss Grace, you can do anything you want to in life. And she just takes that and she runs with it. And I absolutely love that about her. Miss Grace loves stories, and so do I. So we have that in common. She loves stories, and her grandmother loves to tell her stories. So they share and share alike. And I think you all will enjoy this story as well. Yes. Do you have someone in your life who shares stories with you? Maybe they read stories to you. Maybe they tell you stories of old. Some stories may be made up. Some are true. Some are unbelievable. And they get passed down from generation to generation. Those are always very fun. Maybe you have some favorite family stories that you've shared with others as well. I'd like to hear them. Let me know sometime, okay? All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our story. This is Amazing Grace. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or in movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out. And she always gave herself the most exciting part. I know that's right, Grace. That's right, you give yourself the starring role. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc, and she wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at, at the gates of Troy, and she went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the seven seas with a peg leg and a pirate. Arg! She was Hiawatha, sitting by the shining big sea water. And Mowgli in the backyard jungle. I love how she dressed in her costumes and really got into the story. But most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat and found a city of streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing her magic lamp to make the genie appear. Sometimes she would get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said that they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them the words to learn. You see her face? She was unmoved. She's not listening. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Mom. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "Well, that just shows what Raj knows," says Mom. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up, and then later she remembered something else. "Well, Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry, but before she could speak, Nana said, "Hmm, it seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." Nana was very wise. On Saturday, Nana told Grace that they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, "Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet," in sparkling lights. "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey. But first, I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, "Stunning new Juliet." Isn't she beautiful? "That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny and me, well, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance. So this time I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in an imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. Look at her. Oh, wow, that ambition really got stirred. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was the best for the part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. You were fantastic, whispered Natalie. Now, you all know she wore her costume. Look at her. In her element. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, I feel as if I could fly all the way home. Well, you probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. The end. All right, and that was amazing, Grace. And most certainly, she is an amazing young lady. And I think you're amazing too. All right, everyone. That was another edition of Miss Elaine's Read Along. I am so glad you decided to come read along with me. I realized that you could have been a million places doing a million different things, but you decided to come and spend your Saturday with me. And I am so very grateful. But while you're here, why don't you go ahead and leave me a comment, like my page, and subscribe to my channel. That's Miss Elaine Productions on YouTube, or maybe swing by my Facebook page. All right, everyone. Next week we will be back again. Why don't you go ahead and bring a friend? I have had so much fun with you today, but now it is time for my second breakfast. If you like this book, why don't you go ahead and visit a bookstore and purchase it for your personal library or purchase it for a friend? All right, everyone, it has been really, really fun. It's time for me to go. I'll see you again next week. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Love you and keep reading. All right. Bye bye.